Testing. About ready to start the queue. Ladies and gentlemen, about 7 o'clock. This party starts. The meeting will be called to order. The opening statement is, welcome to the City of Lake Helen City Commission meeting. The agenda, the regularly scheduled commission meeting, is posted in City Hall the week of the meeting. Agendas and all backup materials supporting each agenda item are available at City Hall on the city's website at www.lakehelen.org. Anyone desiring to speak to the commission must fill out and provide the mayor the yellow request to speak form located at the door. After being recognized by the mayor, persons are asked to come forward, speak from the podium, state their name and address, and direct all remarks to the commission as a body, not individual members of the commission, staff, or audience. Citizen comments during public comments, and each section of the agenda are public comment is allowed. Let me see. Comments of each section of the agenda where public comment is allowed are asked to limit the discussion to 3 minutes. Large groups are asked to name a spokesperson. The period of time for the comments are not for questioning. Questions directed to the commission or staff. Immediate answer. Questions directed to the city commission will be referred to staff and should be answered by staff within a reasonable period of time following the date of the meeting. Order and decorum will preserve at all meetings. Personal, impertinent, and slanderous remarks are not permitted. Thank you for participating in your city government. Call to order, call the roll. Zone 1. Present. Zone 2. Here. Zone 3. Zone 4. And I'm here, the mayor is here. Ceremonial matters. We'll have a legislative prayer. I'm missing our minister, so I'll be the deacon in charge. And stand with me, bow your heads. We do prayer. Dear Father God, we come together as a community and as this commission to do the work of the city. We ask that you be a part of this meeting and to help guide and to give us direction. We We ask that all things that we do will be done in decent and order, and so that it'll be uplifting and to provide a forward motion for our city, which you have preserved for this long. This is the ask in our Son, in the name of your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Now, as I see it, there are 2 additions to the meeting. Additions, modifications, if anybody, I'll say what you know I have. We have a 5B, which is a Poppy Day proclamation, 5B. And we have a 8E, which is an additional within the events applications that have been applied for, and this is the Lake Helen Pride Dance at Hopkins Hall. All other agenda items, if anyone has anything they want to add?
Alan Cook Jr. sent an email requesting the use of the park on May 31st or June 1st. We want to add that in or something?
Administrator, is that part of our, is that something, when is it, June?
May 31st or June 1st.
Yeah, you could add under events, they want to do a movie night. And
Okay.
They could spill over into the park, so you send an email, said he couldn't be here tonight, just a request.
Do you have more copies of that? Okay, I'll just read it. Put that under the events. I'll make that A, B, C, D, E, F. 8F. Events. Okay. First, we're going to start with the 5A, which is the proclamation of National Safe Boating Week. Proclamation. For over 100 million Americans, boating continues to be a popular recreation activity. From coast to coast and everywhere in between, people are taking to the water and enjoying the time together, boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. During National Safe Boating Week, the United States Coast Guard and the National Safe Boating Council, along with federal, state, and local safe boating partners, encourage all boaters to explore and to enjoy America's beautiful waters responsibly. Safe boating began with preparation. The Coast Guard estimates that human error accounts for most of the boating accidents and that life jackets could prevent nearly 75% of boating fatalities. Through these basic boating safety procedures, carrying life-saving, emergency distress and communication equipment, wearing life jackets, and attending safe boating courses, participating in free boat and safety checks, and staying sober when navigating, we can help ensure boaters on America's coastal islands and offshore islands stay safe throughout the season. National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving tips for the recreational boaters so that they can have a safer, more fun experience out on the water throughout the year. And whereas an average of 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the United States, 75% of those fatalities are caused by drowning. And whereas the vast majority of these accidents are caused by human error or poor judgment and not by the boat equipment or environmental factors. And whereas significant numbers of boaters who lose their lives by drowning each year would be alive today if they had worn their life preserver. Therefore, I, Vernon Burton, do hereby support the goal of the Safe Voting Campaign and proclamation May 18, 2024, May to the 24th, as National Safe Voting Week and the start of the year-round effort to promote safe voting. In witness thereof, I urge all those who vote to practice safe voting habits and wear a life jacket at all times voting. Given under my signature under the seal of the City of Lake Helen on this day, this is the 9th, let's see it, 9th day of May 2024, Mayor Vernon Burke. We have another proclamation which was added, which is Poppy Day. Poppy Day. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers, and where millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle, and whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war, whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars, and whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind Americans annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower, therefore the City of Lake Helen in Lake Helen, Florida, do hereby proclaim this 24th day of May 24th as Poppy Day, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. And whereas, therefore, I have therefore set my hand and caused to be affixed to the seal of the City of Lake Helen in Lake Helen, Florida, this 9th day of May 24th. I'm going to do something off the, is there, Kelly, does she have, she has.
You want to come down for a photograph with them?
Okay. Well, before we do that, can I just do something? Roger, I'm going to turn to you. Could you, what I've just read, could you give a distinction between Poppy Day and Memorial Day and Veterans Day? I'm putting you on the spot. I know you do that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the little sponge thing blocks the light. I can't see if it's on or not. Memorial Day is a day that's set aside to honor all the veterans who came back from World War I. It's been expanded to include veterans coming back from all wars, along with Veterans Day. The Poppy Day came from an incident in World War I where, I forget his rank, I think he was Lieutenant Major, came back from a battle condition and passed a area where a large battle had occurred called Flanders Field. Flanders Field, when they had left, was nothing but pits and mud and debris. When they came back, it was covered with red poppies, the only flower that bloomed first after the battle in that field. So the poppy was recognized as a remembrance of those that were lost in the battles of World War I. Now there's a significant, each part of the poppy means a different part of it, and I don't have that with me. If I would have known, I would have brought that with me to explain what each section of the poppy means. But basically that's the difference between the two.
Thank you, Roy. And at this point in time, I'm going to extend a another request, you can stand. We just have a moment of silence for all those who died in wars. Remember them at this point in time. Thank you. Kelly, you want us to come down?
Yes, please.
You
You
all?
want to stand in front of the,
This side, ladies. Thank you much. Okay. Okay.
thank you.
You want to say something? Kelly?
I would just like to say thank you for recognizing Poppy Day. I know it's an annual event that we have every year, and the city has always given a proclamation to our American Legion Auxiliary Unit 127 located here in Lake Killen, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Move it right along. The consent agenda. It's the approval of the minutes of the meeting, acceptance of the bills paid, acceptance of the budget variances report. Anyone have any comment on any one? Bills paid?
This bill to David Hughes, painting the pipes in the pump house for $13.25. Is that the same job that's listed as number 27 on the Public Works monthly thing?
Yes, ma'am.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have questions about Bill's paid report. The Daytona Beach News Journal, I see a line entry for 14, 17, 16. I'm assuming that's some type of advertisement, but I'm not sure. I apologize, I should have asked you sooner, but I missed that note when I was going over this agenda with our city administrator. Do we happen to know offhand what that is for? It is under general fund toward the middle of the page.
Is there a check number? What's on the other page?
It's more of the legal ads for uncanny project.
What is it? I'm sorry.
We had an uncanny project that came to the commission last month. It's for legal ads that have to go see those, and they are also billed back to the person's investments.
Okay, thank you so much.
Questions on the minutes?
Yeah, I have a question. Bills. I'm having a really difficult time, and I say this, I think, just about every meeting. As I was going through the line items, we have so many line items that are in error based on the budget and the way that it was presented last year. No fault of this entire commission. But I do hope that before we start our next budget meetings, which I hope are earlier this year, that we can get all of those corrected, because we're looking at blank sales or we're looking at dividing a number by 0, which automatically throws us into a negative figure. I've got the total on that, but I'm not going to write that up until we start our budget meetings.
You? Any comments on
Yes.
variance? Anything else?
I have a comment on the minutes.
Yes.
I'm in favor of no on this because of page 5. It has presentation to the commission and it says safe voting municipal proclamation, as we know we did that this evening. So I was hoping we could get that cleaned up and taken out of the minutes.
What number is that on 5?
5A.
5A? Presentation, okay, thank you. It is a duplication of a presentation that we read today that was not on the meeting last month. Anything else?
And just as a very, very small housekeeping, on number 9, there's a question mark before input from June Troy, and I was hoping to remove that as well. I know it's very minor.
On section 9, there's a typographical error, question mark in front of the word input. So noted. Anything else?
Mayor, I had a card to speak on 6C. I had a card to speak on 6C, on the variance report.
Yeah, you're the first one. On the consent agenda 6C, okay? Come up there, please.
I guess it's no surprise that, first, Ann Robbins, 129 Maple Lane. I guess it's no surprise that I'm questioning something about the budget. I have looked at the numbers, not all of them, but one line in particular. I continue to see large amounts of money being spent on tree work. So when I saw that on the last 2 months' bills, it set my eye to looking at the total on the variance report. The variance report that you received tonight is through March 31st. So if you take the line items for contractual services for parks and recreation and streets, roads, as of the 31st of March, one line is about 7,000 over budget. The other one is just under 2,000 under budget. But then when you add on the bills from April and tonight's meeting, you're looking at a deficit of about $20,000. And we are not even into the storm season. So I want to impress on you that this is very important, that you guys look at this and study this. It's not going to be up to the minute, but you can always add in the bills for that line item. I mean, the line item is on the set of bills, and then it can refer to it in the variance report. This is how we get over budget. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'm still looking at numbers, even though I've been retired for 15 years.
Oh, and help me out. Which one you mentioned about share trees? Is there an item number?
Contractual services, Department 2600 and Department 4400. Line item is, I think it's 534.
I actually will be speaking on that later.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ann. Any more comments or questions, or which one do you want to speak on?
Later.
Later, okay. All right, so we have the corrections in our minutes, the references to the variances, budget, get a motion to accept these minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Motion, Commissioner Bishop, any second?
I'll second it with corrections made.
Thank you. Motion moved and second with corrections made. All in favor? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
One no? Okay, motion passed.
That was just
Just on the, it was actually the minutes?
yeah.
Yes.
Consent agenda, the minutes and the budget.
That was all in one. We did all in one. Yes.
The idea of the consent agenda is you vote on everything in the consent agenda unless an item is actually pulled by one of the commissioners to be voted on separately. So when you make a motion on the consent agenda, you're approving all the individual items unless it's specifically pulled.
Thank you.
You want me to reword that, Scott?
You can just say a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion moved. Second. Okay.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
One opposed? Two opposed? Motion passed. Any old business? Any, this one here. New business. On this, section 8, we have 5 events. 6 is the, Alan Cook. Okay. Individually, we'll start with the event application for Memorial Day, which is the car show. Comments or motions?
Yes, I have comments. I had asked about the names of the vendors, et cetera, and the folks that are putting this on have already been in communication with our city administrator for that. Thank you very much for providing that information. So I'm satisfied with no questions on anything.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on that, or any more comments?
Yeah, I have a comment. The only thing that I don't see that's attached to the packet, I'm sure that it will be coming, is that we do expect the applicant to provide an insurance certificate in the amounts of $500,000 for property and/or debt, and/or $1 million for both. I don't think that we've been doing that, but I think to protect the city, it is necessary.
Mr. Administrator.
On that item, I did follow up with every one of the applicants, and they all say they do have, and they do provide that to the city. It does indicate on there it's due 20 days prior to the event. Memorial Day car show, I actually spoke with Tina Jet today. She says not only does she have a certificate of insurance, that she requires it from the vendors to also insure her and the city. In addition, and also going back to having a question, it's all licensing and information involving the food trucks and what have you. So the certificate insurances weren't part of the packet, but they are, that were required. I got confirmation.
For that amount that was asked for?
It's on page 6 of the application. It spells out what the insurance requirement is.
And I've just never seen it in any packet since I've been
Standards for insurance. City upon review of the city department heads may issue permit required.
Insurance is on the bottom, that's issued.
Oh, okay, thank you, Larry. insurance, the applicant will provide insurance certificate at least 20 days prior to the event. The City of Lake Helen, to the City of Lake Helen, naming the City of Lake Helen as an additional insured in the amounts of $500,000 for death and or injury of any one person, $1 million aggregate for occurrences for death, bodily injury, and $500,000 for damages to any property or combined single limit of $1 million for any claim or injury. Is that right? Okay. We have a motion. Any more comments? Any motion?
I make a motion that we approve the Lake Helen Memorial Day Tribute Car Show.
Second.
She was first. Motion by Commissioner Bradley and second by Commissioner Bernardo. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Next would be the Leprechaun application request for special events. Roger, you want to speak to that?
In March, we had a Leprechaun 5K, our first annual one at the Lake Helen American Legion. It was very successful. We ended up with more people than what we expected participating, and we are planning on doing it again next year. And I noticed on the application, there is one change on it. Instead of requesting 2 handicap bordelets, we're only requesting 1.
Any comments? Any motion?
I just wanted to know if we could get a reminder on the calendar for January, because I know this event is quite far away. And it says something in here about we'll provide as we get closer, something to that effect.
It should be on the last page.
Yeah, thank you. So, I think it would just behoove us to make a reminder and check back on this in January, just to make sure that we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's.
All right, that's for the clerk.
I do know the administrator will do that because he's already sent an email out to everybody reminding us already.
Okay. Motion.
Make a motion that we approve the Leprechaun 5K 2025.
Is there a second? Motion approved. Motion moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? I say aye.
I abstain because I'm the applicant.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So 1 abstention, 4 yes. Motion passed. Thank you, Roger. Next one is the HC Halloween storytelling. Brief description, book performances, small group storytelling, reading, book giveaway, treats and snacks. Any comments?
Yes, I asked the city administrator if he had seen the note about, oh no, wait, that's for the next one. I apologize.
Okay.
No comments.
No comments? Any motions?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Lake Helen League for Better Living Halloween story time.
Second.
Motion approved. Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposed, so moved. Next one is a D, the winter dance. Yes, winter dance. Okay, that's the 7th of December. It's a ticketed event, 21 and older, 21 up and only. Volunteers appreciated, open house information about the league dancing, outdoor bar, fire pit, DJ, and dancing. So give me some background on this, this administrator. Open bar.
was told that other than the Leprechaun event, the two that you voted on and this one are annual events. That this is the first time this application has come through. So I don't know if it's a change from previous applications or not. It was submitted by was it the Lakes for Better Living?
Right.
One of their events. So without following up with them, I was told that they have a series of events that they put on each year, and this is just a continuation of that process. So
Roger.
you would know better than me if there's something different about the application versus previous.
This application is using city property, so it has to be approved by the commission, whereas the Leprechaun 5K, even though we have drinks available, it's on our property. They've done this dance for numerous years, and they've always had an open bar type of thing that's been approved, but any drinking on city property has to be approved by us.
Very good. Any other?
So I've been attending weddings that they don't allow it. So I don't know.
I can remember that they've had outside coffee, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to repeat that?
Yes.
I was always under the impression we didn't allow alcohol in Hopkins Hall, because I've come to weddings here, and I know one bride that was very upset nobody could drink at our wedding. So, I don't know. I do know that they have this dance every year, but I'm not aware of an open bar. Maybe they do.
I came to the last one, and they did have an open bar, and they had a fire pit outside, so that was up to commission, so I didn't.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
I remember
It's been
that.
allowed.
I remember at it was a Christmas party, at one of the parties that they had what they call a celebratory drink. That was my drink that we had here. I remember another occasion where we had the League of Cities dinner, and they had a bar set up outside. It wasn't in the building, technically it was on the property. That's as far back as I can remember. Any other?
Yeah, I have a question on this then, since based on what Commissioner Bishop said, based on what I saw when I attended the meeting, and based on the fact that this is an event, will they be providing the same amount of insurance for this event? That's required for everything. Okay. So if someone gets hurt or gets in a fight, gunfight or night fight, covered. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mary?
Yes.
Going back on to Commissioner Bishop, it is in your code of regulations, no alcohol. And the reason I know that is because someone specifically called about renting this for a wedding, and they wanted to do it the right way. And so at some point, maybe this commission may want to address that, because there are ways that you can allow alcohol and you still limit your liability, because technically by saying no alcohol, you're kind of creating the parking lot party. So alcohol is here, it's in the parking lot, you can probably go out in your car. So it's kind of like don't ask, don't tell. So if you really want to deal with it honestly and truthfully, just look at your rules and regulations and write regulations around that says if you're having an event with alcohol, then based on the number of people,
Scott did that.
based on the number of people, it could trigger an off-duty officer. I mean, there are things that you can put in as a protection process involved in that. I mean, Commissioner Bishop is right. I mean, you're approving these events, so if you're doing it, you're authorizing it. But at the same time, you do have, the regulation does say no alcohol.
Okay, then I'd like to add something too. I'm sorry, Scott, you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say, I was looking at the codes regarding alcohol, and the only thing it says is that you're not allowed to have alcohol in a city park. So one, I don't know if this is a city park, unless the city issues a permit for an event, then you can. So once it comes here and it gets a permit, you can have alcohol in a city park. You just can't have alcohol in a city park without a city-approved permit. That's what our regulations say.
That helps.
Are they asking for any of our police officers to?
Get a blue
It's going to
card.
answer your question.
I have a blue card for Kelly. Would you give me one?
It's going to answer.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, were they asking for support? I didn't see it for police officers. Okay, because I don't want to put our police officers in jeopardy here.
Okay. Kelly, you want to speak to this?
Kelly Fresca, 616 John Street. I think I jumped to get that card in before our city administrator and attorney addressed some of that, but Charlene is right. We, as a commission, does not approve the use of alcohol at that city building because the city building itself has no alcohol. It's always been, I don't see it. Don't ask, don't tell. Exactly. And so, therefore, if you were to approve the alcohol, then that would open up a whole nother door. Especially with the alcohol being denied in the past for other parties. Paying parties.
Okay, Kelly, I didn't see your card before. Did you want to, we passed the leprechaun. Did you want to add anything?
No.
Okay. Sorry about that. Outside bar, Alan Cook?
Alan Cook, 792 Oak Tree Lane. The Christmas dance always had the bar outside. And all these dances, all the years I can remember. We got that. About how many dances have we had? But we've always had it out. We didn't put any bar. It's outside. We had it off the porch. And they had the bar outside in the front lawn. That's all.
Thank you, Cook.
Scott, could you repeat what you said about the bar? Do you mind?
It's not about the bar, it's about alcohol. The
The
code
alcohol.
says that, I'll just read it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we're looking at.
It's unlawful for a person to possess or consume any alcoholic beverage or beverages as defined by two state laws in any city park unless a permit is issued by the city for a particular event occurring in the city park. So people can't just go to city park and have drinks on, because they're hanging out in the park. But if they have a permit for a particular event in the park, and actually, I don't know if this is a park. So I don't even know that applies here. But if the city approves a permit to authorize alcohol, then it is okay. It just has to be approved by the city.
With that said, the permit would also have a fee attached to it. We have it in our,
Whatever your fee regulations are. And they also have to comply with
the insurance.
alcohol beverages back. They got to go get through all of those licenses to be that approved.
Okay, so I have a question. Since this is not a park, what does it mean if the bar is outside? Because it's my understanding, and through my own personal experience, that's where it has been located in the past. So what does that mean for us legally if we continue that tradition?
Nothing really. It doesn't matter whether it's inside or outside. Maybe they did it outside so no one spills alcohol on the wood floor in here. I don't know.
Actually, they did it to be politically correct so that they wouldn't be inside. The only thing that they had allowed inside was that celebratory one drink. And then when we had the League of Cities, we had the bar outside. So that's how they did it, to just allow us to be able to be within the guidelines. So that's what we did 100 years ago.
It was only 50 years.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're a little bit older than I am. Yes, Kelly, please.
Thank you. Thank you, sorry. This is a great topic because it's been brought up several times in the past to bring into one of your workshops. So if you were to approve alcohol for this one event, then you would be setting a precedence on all events that have come in the past and the ones for the future. So I would suggest as a resident that maybe this is the time finally to address this. But this isn't a park, and to my understanding, there is no, can we have an open container in the city of Lake Helen?
Yes.
There you go. It's not inside. That's outside.
Okay.
So be careful how you approve it. Maybe you approve the event as the way it was, minus the alcohol inside.
Hey, Mayor.
You got it?
Yes,
They started the alcohol for the winter dance like back in '04. The commission approved it for the 10 year.
The one thing that you said the commission approved it.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that comes along with being the commission, each commission can do their own thing.
No, I'm just.
No, I'm just giving, I was going to raise that point, is that the commissions have made it in the past, and they've changed it with the commission. So, as Kelly stated, it may be a better time now to make it a policy, so therefore it would not something that would be a formality rather than what we're doing now. That's just a suggestion. Any other comments?
Yes, I got one. The way they got it written here, they're just asking for an outdoor bar. We're making the assumption as an alcohol bar. They didn't specify what kind of bar it is, whether it's a salad bar, fruit bar, a soda bar. So, in actuality, we're only making the assumption that it's alcohol, and from past references that they had alcohol outside. But in their application, it does not ask for alcohol, it's only asking for an outdoor bar, not specifying what type.
So then based on what you're saying, I think they may want to go back and actually add alcohol. So as we make an approval on something, we won't just be thinking it might be a salad bar. To have it complete for us to make a good solid decision.
So I think you could ask, is it beer and wine or is it liquor? There's different types of permits you can get. And under beer and wine today, all the seltzers that you see that are so popular right now all fall under beer and wine licenses. They're not considered liquor.
Spirits.
They fall under beer and wine. Yeah.
So, Mr. Attorney, where are we on this in terms of where you think it should lie in terms of legality?
Well, from the legality, it's a question of you want to approve alcohol to be at the event, apparently it's occurred in the past. We can ask them to resubmit for clarification on exactly, specify what type of alcohol you're asking for. And I agree with Kelly that you need to have an ordinance so it can be something somebody can look up and say, this is the rule.
Right.
As opposed to ad hoc, every time it comes before a new commission, they kind of decide, well, you know what, my church doesn't like this, so I'm going to vote against it or whatever. Let's adopt a rule, an ordinance, a law on how this works. Now, if somebody wants to change it, they have the right to change it. They're going to go to 2 readings and an ordinance to change it, as opposed to doing it on an ad hoc basis when an application comes.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
And the only other thing I would say, I don't know how we acquired this property. Sometimes people give property to cities, and sometimes they put deed restrictions on those properties that I've seen where it said no alcohol. So, that could be where it originated. I don't know if we have our original deed in our possession, or we can locate it. The only other thing that could be a restriction on what we do here or on any property we have, is when we acquired the property, was there a deed restriction, some type of restriction put on record that said we cannot have alcohol on the premises?
I would think that
I would say probably not, since it's
Right.
occurring, but that's the only other thing you want to check.
this wasn't designed to be an hall, it was actually a library. So, and then initially the library was here before that one was built. So,
Part of it.
in that part of it over there, yeah. Oh, in the area, but part of the building had a library, that's all I'm saying. And it was a library before that library was built.
It was
Because
built
we-
as a community center, Vernon.
Excuse me?
It was built as a community center.
And it was also a library.
I
Because,
don't know about originally. It was
Well-
opened on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
1888 or something as a community center.
I only recall this because my mother was a member of the Friends of the Library, and when that library was built, they did a change and moved every book out of here, hand in hand, into that book, into that library. So it was I'm assuming that this was a library portion of it, just to go there. But in any event, do we have any more discussion? Do you have any
Yes.
comments?
I do.
Yes, please.
Moving on from that topic, there is a note under dates requested. The league volunteers typically help city facilities decorate Hopkins Hall for the holidays. We plan to do that on November 23rd. Is that date good for the city? I would just like to know if we could instruct staff to coordinate.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I'd like for staff to be able to coordinate the decoration of Hopkins Hall.
A small print.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
It looks like they want to decorate on November 23rd.
Okay, so the suggestion is that we have staff on hand to help with the decoration.
No, I think the league's going to handle that, just the coordination of it.
Coordination. Okay, all right.
Are we ready for a motion?
Motion, yes.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the Lake Helen League for Better Living Winter Dance minus any alcohol in the building.
Okay. Second? Second by Commissioner Bishop. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
One opposed? 4-1, motion passed. Oh, sorry. Oh, you got it. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. We have a thinker.
So now alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah, further.
Okay. All right, Joey. All right, motion approved.
So what is it?
I forgot the number there. Who was opposed? One opposed? More than one? Okay. To the next one. This was the add-on? Yes. This was Lake Helen Pride Dance. Yeah, I had that stuck in mind. Pride Dance. This was the add-on. The prom for adults who says you can't go back. Music, dancing, entertainment, refreshments. Theme is Footloose. Takes place. Setup is going to be June 23rd at 8 o'clock. Cleanup is going to be June 24th. There is no rain date. Prom is for grown-ups. There is a performance by all the King's Men, DJ music, Footloose trivia. All they need is the PA system, nothing fancy. Tickets will be sold at the door, or tickets will be sold at $15. And all the applicable add-ons, insurance. Anybody catch anything you want to speak to? I need a motion.
Make a motion that we approve Lake Helen Pride for their prom event on June 23rd.
Any second?
Second.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Moving right along.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
What day was that again, please?
June 24th? 23rd. Third is a cleanup, setup. Cleanup day is the 24th. Excuse me. Evening of the 23rd. Thank you. Quasi judicial hearing. Oh, Alan. Actually, yes, right in it.
Does that say our email?
I didn't get the email.
Yeah, Jim handed it to you.
You just handed it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. I'll read this. Let's see. Oh. I'm reading out this is performance will not reply to all, sent to all commissioners, Jim Gleason, from Alan Cook, Big Cup. Dear Jen, this is an email you requested per our conversation the other day. As I said, I have my daughter's end of the year dance show on Thursday night. I will try to make it after to the meeting. But if not, all we want to do is to have a movie night in Blake Park near the gym station on May 31st or June 1st. I have the licensing to play the movie secured through Linda Prettyman. The movie will be free, but we may put a donation jar there for the church that helped us with the movie. We just want the commission's blessings to be in the park that night. Thank you, Alan Cook. Reminder, and reminding to keep it simple. Okay. Any comments?
Is that an event?
It's a movie night.
Yes. It's an event, we don't have an application.
It's administrative. This is a movie event. This would be a event request application that would have all the other particulars along with it.
And if that's your desire, then don't pass it, and then tell Mr. Cook that he needs to submit an application, and you won't be able to see it until next month, which means it'll pass the event.
Okay. He's asking for 1 or 2 dates.
I know it's a short notice, and it would have been nice if he would have submitted an event request along with his email for this. A little bit of future planning on his part would probably be beneficial to us. I don't see any reason why we can't go ahead and approve it with the stipulation that he gets an event request into the administrator prior to the event.
Okay. Any other comments?
When is the event?
It's he has 2 dates. Either maybe it's a rain day, May 31st or June 1st. That's an either or. Doesn't have a specific date.
Okay, are you ready for a motion?
I'm sorry.
Are you ready for a motion?
I am ready for a motion. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this movie event night with the stipulation that, how Roger said, put in an application,
Submit an event request.
and we could review it at the next workshop.
Stipulation with the submission of a event application.
A completed event.
All right. That is a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Before we vote, Kelly, you want to have something? Matt?
Yes, I have actually a question. With the Jim's contract, aren't they assisting with city events? Wasn't that part of it, or I'm asking?
This is off their property, off the
I
property that they're
understand, but
requesting.
was that part of their contract to assist with city events? Because this is a city event that's been on the list, movie night. So just as a reminder that it was a city event, Movie in the Park. It hasn't been done in a while, but it was listed as a city event when you look at events that are provided by the city.
Okay.
So I believe that's one that they are assisting the city with. But I'm not them. But I just want to let you know that it was a city event.
Just for the record, we have not had a workshop on what to do with the gym station. As you know, because of the inability to comply with the ECHO grant, that they terminated our agreement, they meaning the county, and as a result, they want us to return $156,000 because we were not able to be compliant. So the gym contract that we had was with the city with the purposes to help keep the primary purpose was to keep us compliant. So we will haven't made that, we haven't come to that juncture yet. So we will have a meeting on that. We have a workshop on that so we can, for me personally, to just clarify what's the stance, for me to clarify what exactly is our position if that contract has been still in effect, and this is not the place for it, but right now we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? None? So moved. Okay. Now we're going to the quasi-judicial hearing. Has anyone had any contact with anybody or any of these ex parte? Thank you. Gotta get the purpose. Does anyone have any ex parte communications with any of the events, with any of these addresses that we're about to deal with? Hearing none? Okay. None? Is there any comment on any one of them? We can either pull out one or we want to go vote on them as
Yes, I spoke with the city administrator to ask about if we had reached a resolution on letter C.
D?
C.
C.
C as in cat. I don't believe that counts as ex parte. I don't think so.
Okay.
But if it does, let the record show. As of today, we have not received an answer from Mr. Morales regarding which resolution for that condition. So I would like to pull that out for discussion separately.
Okay.
9C, 391 West Washington. And also, if we could, just a housekeeping.
It's correct.
Correct? Okay, perfect. Detached, correct.
Yeah, spelling. As I understand it, that the, what's his name?
Mr. Morales.
Mr. Morales. Mr. Morales was contacted about this particular address. We have not yet heard back from him yet. So we're asking if you want to, Mr. Santel.
I just want to remove it from us approving all of them together.
Okay, so you want discussion on that?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, any other? That is, if there's a motion, 391 Washington to be, not only to be corrected in terms of the spelling, but not to vote on it as a unit.
Mayor, the appropriate motion would be a motion to approve 9A, 9B, and 9D.
Okay.
Those are not equal. That's the appropriate motion.
Thank you for that.
Make a motion that we approve A, B, and D on number 9.
Okay. Motion second. Motion moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. All of the motion passes. Okay. Now,
And now maybe we'll go to 9C, which was pulled, and address that specific issue.
all right. You want any discussion on that?
Please, I just want to point out that it does say no, approved with one condition. Either the roof gable appears to span the garage door, the vehicle eliminated. As long as that condition is met, which it looks like you're working toward, I make a motion that we approve 391 West Washington.
That's in red, that is the
Page
minutes.
66.
Yes.
So your motion would be to approve 9C with the condition that they comply with the, what was it? Roof cable?
That they comply with the one condition.
Comply.
Either the roof gable appears to span the garage door or the gable is eliminated.
Okay, that's the item in red in the staff report?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
and it looks
so
like
that's a
that was,
condition.
right, it looks like that was the direction they were headed, but I just want to make sure that that was clear.
Just want to make sure it's clear. to the commission.
So your motion is to approve with conditions,
As long as the condition is met.
conditions being met. Any second?
Well, I have a question. We approved the 98 limit.
Yes, we did. It's already done.
Okay.
We're
I was
on
just concerned about the code book.
I second.
second. We have a motion and second to approve 9C, 391 Washington, with the conditions of a, to be met. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Yes, sir.
I got a little comment. When they go back to do the minutes for approval next month, check the spelling on 9C
Yeah,
cover page.
I think she mentioned that.
It's been correct.
Yeah, yeah, she has a,
The current version.
yes, it's a misspelling on 9C. It says deed does tax. Okay. Deed tax. Okay. All right. That goes from there. Any more cards? Okay. Ron? Don't move. You filled out a blue card. You want the public forum, the yellow card?
Yeah.
Yes, but you
Public
had.
forum on the agenda, right?
Yes, sir, but you had the wrong card. Okay, so we put you on the public agenda. And commission reports by zone. Zone 1.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to first ask if we could, I'm not sure who to direct the question to, actually, maybe Public Works or City Administrator, I'm not sure. If the ADA access to the stage here is on the list for repair or has been repaired. I might have missed it if it already has been repaired, but if it is not already, if we could just get it on the calendar, if everyone is in agreement with that. Perfect. Okay, now for a little bit of a heavier topic. I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's going to bring this up, but I would like to bring up the subject of decorum and teamwork. After the last meeting that we had, quite frankly, I left quite disgusted at the behavior that was shown from all of us in the room. And I wanted to reiterate that all of us are elected to do city business, to conduct city business. This is myself included. This is not singling out any one person or any two or any three, anybody. But when we come to the commission meetings, I would ask, please, that we check our egos, our emotions, and everything else at the door, because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about our citizens and the city business and how we can continue to move forward as a city. And personally, one of the motivating factors for me being up here is my daughter. She is the next generation of Lake Helenites, Lake Helenians, if you will. And to me, it is important that we are leaving a better place than how we found it. And so I'm humbly asking that
if we take issue with an action from one another, please give the benefit of the doubt to each other and ask questions instead of making accusations, because stones can be thrown from every direction, including in mine. None of us are perfect, but I think that at the end of the day, we are here because we want to make this place a better place, because we love Lake Helen. I know I personally love Lake Helen, and I'm so proud of Lake Helen. I'm proud to be here, I'm proud to be a commissioner here, and so if I can ask anything of you all, myself included, can we please work on business only and move forward collectively as a team, because that is what it's going to take. After the last meeting, it was, in my opinion, a complete waste of time, not just that night, but also moving forward for city staff. Their time has been monopolized or used in a different way than it maybe would have. And we have the power to change the trajectory of how our staff feels, how our citizens feel, and ultimately it starts with us. The example starts with us. We are the leaders of the city, and I feel very strongly about the way we are representing our citizens and the love and care that we are showing. No matter if we disagree or not, we can do that in a way that is respectful. And I don't want to beat a dead horse. I feel like we all understand that we have all made mistakes. We all are here for the betterment of our city, hopefully. I believe that all of us are genuinely. And please just ask questions instead of making accusations moving forward. Because at the end of the day, it's not about us, like I said. It's about every single person that we represent. There's 3,000 residents, 3,013, I think, that are counting on us to do the right thing, to be the example, and to continue to move forward in a positive way. And I would like to see that for our next generation, for my daughter's generation. I want her to be proud. And I know I talk about my daughter, but it is about every single person here, your daughters, your sons, your grandchildren, and the people that are around us, and you right now. So I'm not any better than anyone up here. I'm not saying that to say that, but let's check our emotions and just focus on business, please. And with that, I'll step off my soapbox.
Well said.
Zone 2.
May is full of a lot of activities or remembrances. This week, starting on May 6th and ending on May 12th, is National Nurses Appreciation Week. So all those people that go out there and get treated by your nurses, or if your spouse is a nurse or a family member is a nurse, show their appreciation this week that you do care that they are out there. They had some rough years in the past with dealing with COVID and everything, and they pulled through, and they pulled a lot of people through. Yesterday was VE Day. I believe that was the actual day that World War II ended. That was World War I. This one, wait, this one. Let's see, next week, the 13th through the 20th is Armed Forces Appreciation Week. So all those active duty members, family members, relatives, show your appreciation to them fighting for our freedom and keeping us free.
Did you see that was next week?
Yeah, the 13th through the 20th. And for our local officers, May 15th is Peace Officer Memorial Day. So let's remember remember all those officers that day that gave their lives to protect their community and died taking care of doing their job in the line of duty. Results from activities in their line of duty, the stress that they went through to perform their duties, and problems they had following. So let's keep our officers in mind on those days. May 27th is Memorial Day, the official recognition honoring all those veterans and military personnel that are protecting our country and protecting our freedoms. That looks like all the recognition days.
Teacher Appreciation Week was this week as well.
That one didn't come up on calendar, but okay, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the teachers. It was Teacher Appreciation Week this week.
Sounds great.
Well, I want to thank Roger for bringing up the National Nurses Day. My daughter happens to be an RN, and you can probably look at me and tell what field she is in. She's a psych nurse, and her job is really tough. So I really appreciate our nurses. What's happening in Zone 3 is May 20th. We will be, and I believe the flyers have already gone out, we'll be having a town hall meeting here at Hopkins Hall from 6 to 8. Our chair councilman, Jeff Bauer, will be here to speak, along with Webster Barnaby. They both agreed to be here. So we're looking to pull people in from all of Fulton County. The only other thing that I can really say is that Roger must not have a mother, because we do have a Mother's Day coming up this weekend, so I want to wish all of the mothers a happy Mother's Day and enjoy your children.
That should be a proclamation.
It should be.
I just have a question for our Public Works Director. I'm a little confused. I got an answer from the CEA this afternoon about apparently there was a situation, I guess it was over the weekend, where Rod was repairing a water line or something. No?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He was fixing a broken water meter that didn't run over.
Okay.
He has full jurisdiction, and anything other than the service line, he can work on legally. It's all right here in DEP and DOH.
Okay.
If it's a service line, he's exempt from it. Other than that, and I have to be here or somebody who is authorized to be there.
I was just asking, because I know when you were gone, there was some allegations thrown around about that being done.
Well, there was water line being repaired by
So,
an authorized person.
that's why I'm asking. That's it. Thank you.
I'd like to thank with the comments that came from Commissioner Rutledge. Is when I first got in my office, one of the things that I found was something on the quorum. It was just something that had been left over from the previous administrator. I think the mayor was there. And I asked the administrators who at the time was the effort to put it out, and people thought that I was changing or setting policy. It was just an idea that I felt that it was something that we could, as a commission, work on. As also that last meeting, if there was anything that I saw or did that would give anybody the impression that I'm not here to serve the city, I just like to either stand to as a correction and apology. I'll also say that for the 15 years now that I've been part of the city, I think my decorum and my respect of all city employees as well as city commissioners has been one that I would put on anybody. So I'm here as my position as mayor. It requires that we are now forming a team, and this is what we had to do. We started without a city administrator, we now have a city administrator. We have a new city clerk, now we got a new city clerk. We have a new mayor, so now this is a team, and any team that gets together, it's going to maybe take some tweaking here and there to work out the kinks, but I think for the most part, we are here to serve our cities, our citizens. I think it was, I won't call his name, I think it was a politician who said that all politics is local. Well, we can look at and see what's going on the national stage, that has nothing to do with us. It does, but we have our responsibilities to take care of our town. If we do what we need to do to take care of our citizens, I think the rest of it falls behind. So I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be here with this organization and with this group of people. I respect everyone here, and I hope that everything that we do can be always done, as we say in the churches, to be done decent and in honor. That's all my comments. That said, we now have the public forum. We've been moving through this lesson. I mean, we're almost finished. You need a break? Okay, it's a 5-minute break. Okay. And stop the clock. It is now 8:20, so 8:25. About a minute. We don't have a clock in this one. No, regular clock. There's no clock in it. Okay, I might get something. No, the clock is okay with time. No, there's something.
I'm trying to think since I was here.
I'm sorry.
I think it'd be good for,
So now we have public forum.
Until mom feels so you wake up. And then the moment you do the one. All the people cook for me. I'm like, it's not going to get it. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to want to count. I don't know probation. People fast. Like, it has to do with how to work. And they don't go on. What's like, you ask like my great to anybody. He came from my house about 2 months ago. I'm gonna make a sandwich. I'm gonna make my pork. My school's in the pork is a lot. People are the learners. Oh, something about my daughter. Ain't had nothing. They did Brittany kicked my door for an allergy. You want one person charge.
Happy birthday.
Also on the explanation of the bills, when I look it up online, it just shows money going out, no explanation. I don't think it'd be too hard to say what this money is being spent for, just have the person's name, and we're giving them X amount of dollars. I think as a citizen, we should be able to see what we're spending the money for. And then I got two things that aren't so great. I take my grandchildren to the Melissa Park, excellent little park. They're very happy with the equipment. Looking forward to the basketball court too. But I was approached by a panhandler, a beggar. And I was uncomfortable with my 3 grandchildren in the golf cart and this man coming up begging for money. So I think we either need to have a law, an ordinance, or something that says that's illegal and that can be addressed. Also, it just came to light today, and this is kind of a public service announcement, that there's somebody that's creating property fraud in our town. In my neighborhood, there's a vacant lot for sale by owner. The sign was taken down. It was listed with a realtor, who the person said that he was an owner and was offering it for sale, and actually, I think he got a contract on it. The original, the legal owner got that message, and we got all straightened out. Their sign is pulled, but there's somebody out there in town that's trying to do some fraud, so be leery.
Okay.
That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot we had 3 minutes. Property fraud, panhandling in Melissa Park, and make more apparent the building, Ron?
Yes, explanation.
Explanation, okay, thank you. Next, Kelly Prescott.
Kelly Praska, 616 John Street. I'm just going to read a little something from what was read earlier in our beginning of our agenda. And the last few lines, order, decorum will be preserved at all meetings. Personal, impertinent or slanderous remarks are not permitted. Thank you for participating in your city government. I'm hoping that these are not just for us, that these are for all of us. And according to this, I can't zone out anyone particular, but I think I'm clear on this. The attacks on one another and the attacks on city residents, a city resident in particular, does not fall underneath this. This is read at every meeting, and yet it's not followed. I'm very shameful to call Lake Helen my home. I have people outside of Lake Helen. They're like, you guys are a mess. I don't know how you do it. I do record these meetings for public view so that way our city residents and those who are interested watch them. But I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed the way this last meeting went. I'm embarrassed that we have elected officials completely slanderous and personal attacks on a citizen. Do it on your own time. This isn't where this is done. And as far as reaching out, and I mean, I think Heather, said it very clear that everyone's up there. I'm not saying it word for word, but everyone up there is to work together. Work together. Don't waste not only your staff time, your commission time, and waste our time on meetings that are only for personal vendettas. I expect better, and I think the City of Lake Helen residents expect better also. Thank you.
Thank you. want to point out one thing, that up until now, none of this statements have been on every city commission agenda for as long as I can remember, and I'm the only one that has been beginning to read them out loud. So it's been there, ignored, we will be following them, I promise you. That said, we have one more, Iris. Now you have 3 minutes, Iris.
Don't worry, I'll
Yes,
make it
ma'am.
through.
Thank you, dear.
Come
right up.
I'm a resident at 568 Sherman Street. My whole family done did a lot for the little old lake help. But I want you all to know, I was at my house not even about an hour and a half ago. Josie Bell over here came to my house for this nice lady back here who takes care of my dog.
Take it to the mic.
Gave me an apple plant because I do have a terminal illness and my skin was burnt and forever. This guy came to Joey, threatened to kick my door in. We got cameras too up there on our property. To kick my door in for an apple plant. Then, let's see if this right here. Oh, let me call your probation officer. I'm not on probation. Yeah, Joey, right there. I just spoke with Mullins. He told me he's not reprimanding his officer. Joey, the same officer about 6 months ago, came to my house about a situation with my daughter who don't live with me. I was in my kitchen making me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I walked out with a butter knife. Mind you, my house is screened in and the porch is locked. He pulled a gun on me. A gun. All this black children. He comes to my house, pulled a gun on me because I had a butter knife. You know, I went thinking that home, making me something to eat. A gun. And then he kicked in my door. If y'all want the recordings from my cameras, we have it. Just left my house not even 2 hours ago. Over an apple plant that this nice lady back here, Miss Allison Curtis, gave me. Yes. And I will be making a report and letting y'all, from now on, I'm not calling Lake Help. Because I don't feel safe with Lake Help. I'm calling the sheriff's department. Because I think that could, just because someone said they had a receipt, I got a pocket full of receipts. Right there, pocket full of receipts. But no, they wanted the apple plant. Oh, well, you want to jail, that's the third degree felony. I know the law. And I feel like it was racist when he said, oh, let me call your probation officer. I ain't on no probation. That was on in December last year. So I don't even want him coming to my house.
Thank you. Part of what the public forum allows to do is to have expressions, and as it's stated that they're directed to the city commission as a whole, not individually. Our city administrator, if anything needs to be followed up, or our police chief, it will be followed up at that point. We're just hearing here. We're not making any assumption, or neither are we making any. We're not making any assumption. So I thank you for that, Iris. And if you need to be followed up, our administrator or our city public police chief. Thank you. Public forum. Now, city administrator's report. We have 2 things after that. City administrator's report, police chief's report, and then the public works. Is there anything else? Just those 3? Okay. You're on.
The only thing I have at this meeting, Mayor, is just to remind you all that next Tuesday, the 14th, we have a workshop involving septic tanks. And then on Thursday, the 16th, we have a workshop involving the CAC and the GEM contract. And then you have a workshop on the 23rd involving donation policy and displays. And then on the 30th is the Volusia League Cities election, or excuse me, here. And then I'll turn it over to the department items.
Chief.
Good evening, everyone. The only thing I have, it's a big thing, it was from last commission meeting, which got tabled for unforeseen circumstances, is the purchase of 2 new police vehicles. The reason I'm requesting to purchase 2 new vehicles is we lost one during the hurricanes in November. That was not able to be recycled through insurance because the vehicle was so old and it was already a totaled out vehicle when we had gotten it, so it had no monetary value whatsoever. The second vehicle is we hired Officer Sias and added the officer onto the department, and that vehicle will be for him. So the 2 vehicles I'm requesting to purchase are 2 F-150s. They're going through the same company that we got the Dodge Durangos from, which is Vancore. They are on a, which was the term used for it?
They approved it,
state
approved in their list, or state contracts?
Yeah, it's under state contract, so it's the same price for these vehicles that's offered to any other government agency.
We're piggybacking.
Yes, sir. So the cost of those vehicles is, the MSRP is $54,910. Cost of each vehicle is $49,000. Again, at my glasses, $621. What I'm requesting is a 5-year lease. Same thing we did with the Dodge. Instead of coming up with $100,000 to pay off immediately, I already budgeted for 2 vehicles for lease payments. So we're looking at roughly $1,000 a month per vehicle. Actually, the exact amount would be $988.79 for 6 miles.
Per vehicle.
Per vehicle.
Comments?
There is also, it was just recently brought to my attention, I'm sorry, the impact fees that the city has accumulated over the years. There's approximately $28,000 of that is used for public safety. We don't have a lot of reasons to use that money, but to buy new equipment for a new officer that we just hired would be the perfect thing to use that money for.
So the new officer's getting the new vehicle?
Yes. So every officer has their own vehicle. It's their office.
But they can't take it home. So I'm trying to why every
The reason
officer?
why they can't take vehicles home is because we don't have enough vehicles for officers. So that's something that'll come down the line as far as the union goes. But
And that still could be turned down, though.
it could be, but that vehicle is their office. You know, they spend the majority of their shift inside of that vehicle. So right now we have 2 officers sharing the vehicle.
But what's the most officers we have on duty at one time?
What I'm saying is, each officer has their own vehicle to share a vehicle. Those vehicles are set up, as I said, it's their office. You like if you work somewhere, you had your computer, you had your desk set up, and then every time you come to work, you have to rearrange it because the person who was there before you is now using it. It's essentially their office. It's not uncommon for every officer to have their own vehicle. I'm not aware of any agency in Volusia County, even in this area, Orlando, that shares vehicles.
Isn't the capital outlay for the PD budget $45,000?
Yes, that is correct.
Any further discussion?
Yeah.
If I can get her answer first.
Oh,
No, he
where-
said yes.
He said yes.
Administrator's actually looking up
The number.
the numbers.
Brandon, do you know how much that you have currently left in your budget until September?
I know that as of March 31st, we could only use approximately 36% of our budget.
Well, there we go.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick up on what Commissioner Bishop had to say. How many police officers do we have?
7,
7. How many vehicles?
6.
6. So why are we wanting to buy 2 trucks?
We need to replace one vehicle. We have a truck that we use right now. That's the brand control
Okay, so we can't move it, we have to discount.
Yeah, we can, once we get new vehicles, that vehicle is just old, but it works. You know, we spent a lot of money, we put a lot of money into it over the years, and it's our only 4x4 vehicle. So that vehicle has been used to help sheriff's office out. We had recently had a side-by-side accident over near Daytona Park Estates where the person was out and got very injured. Officer Rushworth was able, that was the only vehicle he was able to get rescued back in there in that vehicle to help that individual. So it has its needs right now.
I looked at the variance report today, and Jim, can you tell me what the balance is on the budget for the police department? Currently, as of March 31st, it'll be less, obviously. I thought I saw 42,000, but it may have been more than that.
464, 880,000.
They have 400 left.
Yeah, they were budgeted at 807, 8,000. They've used 342,120, leaving 464, 880. So we're almost, this wasn't quite the half point of the year, but the police department is at 42% of the budget.
Well, that's what I was hoping, 42, then I guess. Okay.
And on that vehicle equipment line item, that was addressed, it was budgeted for 45,000, and as of March 31st, it was 38,825 left in that line item.
It's left in the budget.
In that line.
In that.
In the capital outlay.
Right.
And that was put in there to offset that to recurring thing that's going to be on my budget every single year. So what I'm asking is for $24,000 of that capital expenditure to be used for the cost of the vehicles.
Yes.
$24,000 a year over the next 5 years.
So payments would be like somewhere around $999 a month or something.
It's $988.61 is what it is.
Yeah, I would just say $2,000. And it's only $2,000 a month for the balance of this
That's
budget year.
Yes, and then, as of now, these vehicles, originally I had, was working with Enterprise for fleet, and we went through a 3-month process with that. We had a meeting with them toward the beginning of the year, and after dealing with them for 3 months, was told that we don't have enough vehicles in our fleet for them to honor it. So that kind of wasted my time. This would have been asked for a while ago. So I went back to Bancor. Bancor is procuring their vehicles through J. Allen, which was one of the places that I wanted to go to. They're highly reputable when it comes to purchasing police vehicles. And the whole reason to lease them is that after that lease is up, there's other options that we can do on this, by the way. We can do a buyout after 4 years. And then the catch is that we would have to sell that vehicle. That vehicle can be sold and that money can be used to purchase another vehicle, which is still my plan instead of doing the buyout. I don't want to do the buyout and be limited on, we have to sell this vehicle because we might not be able to sell that vehicle. We might not be able to get the money that we want for it. And I don't want to have to give up the vehicle. So just to go another year instead of buying out, if we need to purchase new vehicles, we can sell that. We're only putting about $10,000 on average on vehicles. I wouldn't even say it's that much with each officer having one. And that vehicle has 50,000, a brand new Ford F-150, 5 years old. There's no reason why we can't recapture a decent amount of money on that to go toward the purchase of a new vehicle going forward. So ultimately, my goal is to replace all of our vehicles every 5 years. That way we have new dependable vehicles.
And current,
what would be your optimum for number of vehicles for each officer to be able to take one home?
I would need one vehicle per officer.
One vehicle. So right now we're one short?
We have a truck which can stay. So if we did go to the take-home program, I would want to at least have one vehicle here. The truck has been paid for. It runs fine. That can be used as a spare vehicle for reserve in a pinch if something happens. For instance, officers working, if something happens, car wreck, if you flat tire, the car breaks, it's going to have another patrol vehicle. So, and then my cars also would be available too. So, if I have to turn them in temporarily.
just looking ahead, with a take-home vehicle, would there be an allowance for the vehicle, or is that just, I'm just curious.
What do you mean?
In other words, when you have a take-home vehicle, do you have to, same maintenance and things would be reported? What about washing the cars?
Oh, yes, there would definitely be a policy, what the officer, the responsibility that they have with the car, what they can use it for. If we did have a take-home program, I'll tell you about the sheriff's office, they can take the car to the store, it would just be going to and from work. It wouldn't be used for, to do personal business. We have the officer be responsible for the maintenance, make sure the oil changes are done, not at their cost, but, just take it, get the oil change done. If the tires are getting worn down, it's their responsibility to let us know and, keep the vehicle, keeping it clean, washing it, all that time.
Here, I would just say that, I think as Charlie indicated, that could be a negotiated item through collective bargaining. And so what would actually come out of that would be whatever was negotiated. So I don't think it's appropriate for us to say what that policy would or would not be right now. It would have to go through collective bargaining and approved through a union contract. That was, you remember I kind of said when we started this, they started a union, I said, this is going to change everything that we do with the city. We're not going to talk to police officers about benefits and changes during meetings, just ad hoc. There's a process now. You wanted a union, let's go to the union. You go to you collectively bargain it, and the administrator will go and negotiate that, meet with you in closed session, and ultimately a contract will be worked out. That's how that's handled now that we have a union.
That doesn't include this. That would include purchasing of the vehicles, correct?
Not the purchasing, but the take-home policy.
Right.
And the purchasing of vehicles is a different issue. That's not negotiated.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, let's not get too much into the details of what the policy would be until we actually sit down and negotiate that policy with the union representatives.
And I do want to say the reason why I want each officer to have their vehicle is not for a vehicle program. That's not my reasoning for asking for the vehicles, and so each officer has their own vehicle.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure that I've got in my mind everything straight. What I think may not be correct, so that's why I'm asking you questions. Sure. We've got vehicles now that have about 15,000 miles on them. You missed the last meeting for personal reasons, so Joey stood up and talked for you. We're not looking to trade those in, are we, anytime soon?
These vehicles are not used to replace. These are to add to our fleet.
Yeah, I've got that part of it. You had mentioned about trading in the others every 4 or 5 years.
We still have about 2.5 years left on the lease for that. That is something that as we get closer to that, depending on what the market is at the time, is to, yes, possibly sell those Dodge Durangos and go to the Ford F-150s. The Dodge Durangos they're leased, so we have a major mechanical issue. It doesn't really cost us anything, but I'm not trying to put down Dodge, but they're not the best vehicles. I foresee them having a lot of maintenance issues down the road. Once these are paid off, that's going to start costing us more money to keep them on the road. That's why I want to move to Ford. Ford has been with law enforcement since vehicles were around. They're reputable, they stand by their product, and they're just all around an excellent police vehicle. I miss the days of our Crown Vics that we used to have. I drove that my entire career, until I became chief, so they were excellent cars.
But it sounds like you've got money in the budget for it.
Yes.
So I don't have a problem with that. I've got a lot of problems with other budget lines. I do have a bit of a problem if we've got one officer on duty and then all of these other vehicles are sitting there because the other officers aren't working. If you called in another officer, why is it not a good idea to share a vehicle? I mean,
As I said, I realize it costs money, but as I said, it's the same thing as having an office. if you are working in an office and you say somebody comes in at night when you're not working and then changes everything around. These cars are set up, you know, every officer has their own equipment, they have it in their spot. So they need to get it, they know where it is, instead of sitting there fumbling around through the trunk. So it's their office, it's their second home is that car. And that's what they use, and that's why each one needs to have their own vehicle.
Because of the programming and everything.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I have.
Just to speak to that, in the up north, where there's a bigger fleet and you have more officers, they don't always keep the same car. And what they get is what they get. But if you drive in your car and you take care of it, you know what you get when you get it. So that is an advantage of having at least the same car. In a small city like this, of course, up north, it doesn't matter. They just throw them away anyway.
And then when there's a scratch on the vehicle, I know who did it.
I'm sorry?
And then when there's a scratch on the vehicle, I know who did it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the $988.71 a month that they've got listed here, is that per vehicle?
Per vehicle.
Just for clarification, when the lease is up, we get to keep the vehicle.
That is correct. We pay $1 per vehicle at the end of the 5 years.
Any further discussion? Any motion?
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the 2 police vehicles.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
1 opposed, 4 yes. Motion passed. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. And I have nothing else.
Anything else?
I have nothing.
Public
I take that back. I do. I just wanted to recognize one of our reserves, Officer Derek Kovacs. Last weekend, he, county had a suicidal individual who was getting ready to jump off one of our overpasses. And he was the first officer on the scene and was able to talk the guy down and get him secured, turn him over to the sheriff's office. So
I think I drove under that.
he might, yeah.
It was over I-4?
It was, you know, we had to have the highway shut down.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my wife on the phone and I looked up, I said, I might be having this guy land on me in a second. I mean, I went right under, he was standing right on the edge.
Yeah, it's a big deal just to know that little old Lake Helen, you know, that these things do happen, and, you know, this guy was ready to jump, you know, so.
That was hands-free talking.
Yes, that.
And I want to thank you too for getting your office the Valor Awards. It puts a face on Lake Helen.
Sure.
And, you know, it's also good for morale, good for the esprit de corps, and, you know, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to always be guns and knives, but saving a life is a life, so we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And can't thank you enough. Can't thank officers enough who put themselves on the line. As Roger mentioned earlier, it's the Peace Officers Memorial Day, and
we will make sure the flags are never down.
I know
The protocol is for that.
It is, it's just a day, sundown, or sun up to sunset for that day. The flag, there are so many days with the flag going up and down, and so it can be difficult to keep track of, even with the app I have. You know, it's not that accurate, so.
I appreciate that recognition there. I've never heard it before. Being a former police officer and having been shot when on duty, I can thank the Lord that I'm so healed. So God bless you all.
Thank you. And that's all I have.
That's all. Public work.
Good evening. I know you have in your packets, we have there tonight, the main thing I have is for a salary adjustment for Rod, Mr. White. I think he enclosed the letter and everything along with it. I can entertain any questions or anything you need there. I do have some, what I call bullet points, if you wish me to read them.
Read bullets.
This is something new to me, doing this thing with that.
Did you have any post-its that you wanted to bring out?
Well, I have some bullet points, if you'll let me read them.
Yeah.
And remember, I don't do this is not what I do normally, so please, may not be the greatest. Number one, I'm gonna call Mr. White's Rod, so you're gonna see this all the way through. Rod runs all of our heavy equipment, and he's the only one with the skill and training that we have on staff currently. Rod has been training in the water department from the first day of our return, and been eager to learn all aspects. He's also been getting the proper credentials to get a distribution license, which will give him then, give Public Works a backup to be able to do water line repairs in our distribution system. As Commissioner Bishop brought up from the other day, he probably had, if it was needed. Rod takes the initiative to always find better ways to do things and always ask questions. If he does know about situation at hand, so he can learn. Rod takes great care of our city, and when he sees something wrong or needing attention, he acts accordingly. Rod never wavers when needed after hours to come in and do the job, whatever it is. Rod takes a leadership role when I am gone and needed. He responds to all situations with the utmost professionalism. Rod is a go-getter, always doing what is needed, and when done with a task, always ready for another one. Rod is a great asset to the Public Works family and our city. He has a great relationship with our citizens and treats them all like family. Rod will have a complete backflow program under his supervision and will be the license holder for the city of Latona at that point, because we haven't had none since I've been gone, that program which is under DOH. In our small community, it takes everyone in the Public Works Department to get the job done. Rod shows that every day in our small town, well deserves a salary increase to bring him up as what needed for the role he does in our city. We're always looking ahead in the future to give legacy knowledge to our successors, to keep it moving forward, and that's what Rod is doing.
Comments?
Oh, I got pages. Y'all go ahead. First off, my first comment actually is, I don't understand why we're seeing this in the middle of the budget. Why is this coming before us?
I think it warrants it at this time. I know it's late in the budget, you know, that, but I had not worked previously with anybody here. We're in the middle of a budget, as you know, as Mr. Robbins had spoken about the tree trimming. I'll go to that because I'm sure you're going to ask about that anyway. Most of that was done when Lee was here. Lee approved all, but I took it right through Lee as far as that goes. I was handed a budget that I had no control over. When Jim came along here, we had no reports by the month or anything that was going on. You also had 21 months of zero tree trimming that I know of, because it tells out there. So we were doing safety issue tree trimming, we were doing tree trimming in the parks along the right-of-ways. 90% of our debris at hurricane and high winds are our palm trees, so in our parks we have all them trimmed. You have Boom Mowing, which is a slope mower we don't own, and that does all the mowing around the lakes and does the right-of-way trim backs. So you have 21 months to try to catch up some of it. Once we got our variation report, and I seen that right there, we slowed down. We only take trees out now when they're dead, or a safety issue at this point in time. There was a lot of line items. I think you have professional services in the tree budget on the streets. That shouldn't have been that amount of money there. That should have been in the contracted services. So the budget's kind of not right. Going forward, the new budget I've been working on for the last 2.5 months to get it together, along with a 5-year CIP plan for all of the storm water and everything like we used to have prior to Mr. Evatt. And that answers that question there.
Okay, so how did you arrive at this amount for a raise, $4
If you go around, you look at everything, and you see what the people are doing, and the county and everything there, you have a supervisory position, which is what he will be in, because as we get our team back together, he will be the supervisor that I would recommend or have him already. If it wasn't this time right now, it would be at budget time.
So you did a pay study on that?
There was a pay study somewhat done. I believe we have, I don't know, Ron, you have, I think I have them also here. We can give you. Yes, right here. You got it, Ron? Thank you.
Something else I was wondering about. I asked the CA, and we give raises and take money away from employees, but yet we don't do any performance evaluations on any employees in this town. Never have.
I agree. You're absolutely right. So the first time we did, probably in the first time we were there, the first 6 months of Our initial hiring back in 1996, we got one a month until 6 months was up and we initially hired them. And since then, I don't think they've actually had any.
No, we haven't, actually, because that's something I kind of check on occasionally. Let's see, this is just a remark. He's the newest employee that we have, yet he'll be making more than any other employee,
Actually,
including the
not the newest
officers.
employee. He's been here 2 years, I believe, already.
Who's the newest?
Paul Hatfield would be.
Paul's been here
He was let go and came back.
So you said that he is on the verge of getting his distribution license?
He's got all the education, all stuff required as far as the book and the certificates. He can go set through the test and he has to get the rest of the hours in.
Yeah, 2,080 hours. That's a full year of doing nothing but water.
Absolutely.
Who's he going to do that with?
He works under me right now, doing it every day.
But you're not doing water.
Yes, we are. We're doing distribution every single day.
So, okay, so I'm like, what are we paying US Water for?
They do the operation for him.
Okay, so, all right, I just want to make a point that the Public Works is already at 107% of its budget. And I also want to make a point that we're going to be opening a can of worms because those girls in the office, we just took money from them. I'm finished now.
Okay. I guess I want to kind of piggyback off what you said about Sherrod being the newest employee. In my world that I come from, people are paid based on their job description and the skills that they have, not their tenure. I think looking over, and I have been into the personnel files too, the fact that these employees have not had any performance reviews is laughable. I mean, it goes right to the top. I don't even know, I would imagine, and I have heard that the last CA did get a performance review, probably excellent, I don't know, but not to make sure that employees are being just hanging out there. Then when it does come time, at budget time, which totally blew me away, I wasn't on the desk, but I was part of the budget in every meeting. And money was being thrown out for temporary employees against the charter. Monies were just being added into wherever they wanted it to go. There was no rhyme, no reason, including giving a 5% COLA at a time when other cities weren't even giving COLAs. But like did 5%, which gave a pretty good increase to new employees. Looking at, and I've done a lot of research on, by giving Rod this, this raise, I think number one, not only does he deserve it, but doing it in the middle of a budget year is no different than approving 2 trucks in the middle of a budget year. That's why I asked about the budget. We're going to lose this man, and I don't want to see that happen. I think he's been through a lot based on what I've read and seen, because like I said, I have been through the files. That's a shame. He's a disabled vet. We're setting ourselves up here by not giving him the recognition that he deserves. And he always shows up and he always works. Now, in regards to how it's going to affect the budget, it really isn't going to affect the budget at all, because basically $4 an hour comes to about $160 a week, which comes if you add FICA, Social Security, and whatever. I talked to the CA, you know, we'll just round it up, because I didn't know what the FICA was. The CA wasn't saying, you make this decision, you make that decision. I knew what FICA was, I can go Google that up, but I don't know about, you know, the Social Security rates or anything. I don't know what he's filing for or anything else. But at any rate, we have about 20 weeks left till the budget turns over into October, which brings us to about $4,000 more money for this man, which then breaks down to about $800 a month, based on our budget, which is so screwy anyway, and I could go off on $186,000 that I found. But even taking that $800, we have a part-time employee, a temporary, I guess, who is not receiving benefits. He'll be going back doing his regular job soon. And so that's going to offset anything that we give Rod. Personally, I think it should have happened a long time ago. I'm impressed with his desire to learn and to move up because he likes the city. I'm sure this man with his background in mechanical diesel engines or whatever could go make a lot more money. I think that we should be proud to have him here. And so therefore, I personally think that we should give him the raise.
Good. Thank you.
Shrod came to us during a time when Public Works was going through some very troubling times. And Shrod was put on, I guess what you call the chopping block during those times, even with all the work and everything he had done. And during that time, he showed leadership, great self-restraint, and came out of it and continued to work on promoting what Lake Helen needed and getting the education and whatever was needed for Lake Helen to promote the Public Works program further and to bring Lake Helen into an era where we'd be taking care of ourselves. And with that, I mean, the letter that was submitted and stuff is basically an evaluation of Rod, and I think he well deserves the thing, and he's going to be your, what, number 2 person coming up?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I think it's a great thing, and I'm all for it.
I just have one question. Does this come with a new title?
Yeah, he would be, I don't know how the city wants to word it, I don't know if it would be assistant director or it would be a supervisor, I don't know how you would word that.
And does it come with the contingency that we see this licensing through?
I would say yes. I would think that he would be there, and I'll be there the whole time with him, so he'll be able to get his license through mine. And he's also soon to be going to traffic school for MOT, also for signs, because we don't have a certified sign person here. They'll be able, right now, we're allowed in the county, call our friend up to ask him, you know, certain things we need to know. He's going to be going to that class too, so he's going to be doing a lot of that training and stuff to get that we never had even when I was here the first time.
Did you say sign course?
Yeah, signs. And there's certain ways you have to put signs out, road signs out, sticker them, you have to have it in a certain area. There's a whole bunch to putting signs out on the roads.
Okay, very good.
I always have had the honor to sometimes chastise Rick because of the money that he saves the city was never capturing it. We can sit here and talk about budgets all day long, but when you can consider that we can make a phone call and save the city X amount of dollars, that's invaluable. Relationships is what this position brings, and I think having someone that could follow in your footsteps, be passed along the information and the relationships that you have, that's invaluable. Sharad has shown himself to be a hard worker. He's also a military veteran, and again, we speak for that for itself. I have a sort of a personal issue with Sharad, because he used to wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning and take him to DeLand High School when he missed his bus. So I'm glad that he's able to do what he's doing now. Sometimes in the past, one of the things that we have never really addressed, that even as long as I was on the board, we talk about being penny-wise and dollar-foolish. We have situations where we have the ability to provide services to the community while how many men are you down right now? If you would have your ultimate, what would be the number of people you would have?
6 total, plus myself and Rod, so 8 total.
So you're down, you're short 2.
We have 2 right now.
Okay, and one of the things that one of the things I think that came up even with the equipment that you purchased, the equipment has allowed you to do multiple tasks that maybe one extra man might be needed.
Yes.
So you kind of put the eggs in the basket first. In other words, you got the material, you got the equipment, you're maximizing the equipment, and then we can follow up with some personnel. Everything that people like about the city, everything that people love about the city, we can go forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we've had this discussion. There's nothing else that, with all of the commissioners that have already spoken, I think we just need to have a motion.
I'd like to make one more. I just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with us. Okay, so I went through the bills paid from October to this meeting here. What we're outsourcing is tractor work, trimming, water, electrical, painting, plumbing, and pressure washing. So I took the salaries of the public works and I included their benefits. So for the year, that comes to $253,408, plus $25,000 that we've paid so far for part-time. Actually, it's only 24. I miswrote that as 25. The grand total of the outsourcing total expenditures, and this doesn't include air conditioning and spraying for bugs, stuff that we could, as a public works, do our own pest control. The total expenditures came out to $184,715.29. So thus far, we're at $463,123.29 for the expenditures, for doing cleanup and all of that, plus all of the payroll that we have so far. So I'd say probably in like 2 years or something, we're going to have $1 million public works department. So just wanted to throw that out there so that everybody's on the same page.
Can I add something to that? I think maybe once we start on the new budget, as a team here, knowing what our budget currently is, which is a disaster, we have so many contractors that we can't actually hire employees. And I think, spraying for bugs and things like that and to do the entire work for the city with 2.5 employees is a little difficult. I'm just hoping that when we get to budget time and that we have enough time and that hopefully we'll start it early, like in June, not September.
Well, I went back all the way to 2019, and this has been a pattern all along. There actually was more players back then than there is now. Some of those people have dropped out. I actually have it broken down by how much we've spent on each one of these contractors since October. And it's quite a bit. Tree trimming and, yeah. You're looking at $76,889 for one contractor. And we do not take this out to bid. We don't have a contract with them saying that there are sole contractors. We don't bid anything out. It's just handed out to everybody. So I have nothing personal against Rod. I like Rod. But it seems to me that some of this needs to get under control. This is ridiculous.
May I say something?
Sure.
Absolutely. The tree trimming and stuff that we put out, we used to put in around $60,000 to $70,000 per year. We do not do tree trimming because we don't have a bucket truck. To get a bucket truck,
We do have a bucket truck.
not a bucket truck for doing tree work, along with a chipper and everything and manpower to do it. We've always done that, put it out and had it there. Central Florida Bobcat we use the current is piggybacking off the Volusia County contract.
But we don't have anything saying that Volusia County's okay with that. We don't have a contract of
They
our
don't,
own.
they don't do it. Central Florida Bobcat allows us to, the county does not. It might-
If you're piggybacking, that would mean that you have to get with the person they have the contract with.
Defer to Scott.
Right, Scott?
The company called Central Florida Bobcat.
Yes, sir.
Central Florida Bobcat would have to, Central Florida Bobcat would have to agree to match the contract that they have.
And we should have a contract with them, right?
And you should have, at a minimum, we should have something in writing that says, we are under contract. The contract between the city and Central Florida Bobcat is, you reference the county's contract.
Right.
But you just change the name.
Right.
You could reissue a whole new contract, or you just have a one page. It just came up in Holly Hill, and I gave them two that we've done here. We did it for the water meter contract. We got from the city of Sanford. We had just a two-page document between us and that contractor to say, we are buying the contract, the meters under that contract identified as whatever you had over there in the city, and with these changes in the city and the contractor, people signed that. And there was one other one we had, and we were putting that on. And you need to have something in writing. It doesn't have to be a full-blown contract. It could be a one-page document that just says.
Well, yeah, we should have something with everybody, because, I mean, KDT, we're at 28,000 something with them already too. We don't have a contract with any of these people.
And I've asked for that for years and years before, that we need to establish contracts with them.
If I may, what I'm hearing you say, Commissioner Bishop, is that you have an issue with the way that we're doing our contracts and outsourcing our work, but I don't see how that affects the decision to benefit one of our employees. I mean, I understand your concern about the budget.
Well,
maybe that's the point that you were trying to make, and maybe it's gone over my head.
that's what I said, this had nothing to do with Rod. But I also have to remind this commission that we took money away from 2 employees just a couple of meetings ago. Now, what's going to happen tomorrow morning when they get up and say, we're leaving unless we get a raise? Because if I was them, I would.
Well, I just to respond to that, those 2 employees have been getting an additional almost $6,000 in their paycheck.
Oh, I don't know why it was happening.
I'm just saying that it was found out, and so there has got to be some balance in the these. But I think, for me, what's important is that in moving ahead in the future, we do a lot. I don't think we do enough of future planning. In other words, a lot of houses being built, a lot less land is not being just open land. There's more people driving in the city. There's more people coming to the city, and there's things that we need to. I haven't heard it yet from the commissions to plan for. We have a comp plan. I haven't heard us developing a plan for, let's say, County that's talking about putting 348 units over there. The houses that are being, the subdivisions that are coming up, I think we need to be, I hope that we would be on the front line as opposed to trying to catch up. And it's easier to be ahead of something than to catch up to something. And that doesn't even talk about every year we do have more and more severe hurricanes. And then that also puts a strain on our manpower. So I'm in agreement with what you're saying in terms of what the money is for, but there's also the personnel that we need, which we don't have. We're short people. And I don't know what the salary would be for 2 people that we don't have. And we're not paying because they're not here. But if we have one employee that can move up the ladder, I think there's that dollar value that we have, especially if it's something that can be provided in the city to help our share. I'm gonna stop there.
I share the same concerns that Ms. Bishop has brought forward, Commissioner Bishop. But if we're ready for a motion on this item, I would like to make a motion.
Please. Thank you. Sorry I didn't have a mic on. Is there anything else? Do we have
I believe we have a card.
have one card? Yes. Ann?
Ricky was here when, I believe it was Jeff Oransky that was hired.
Yes.
It was going to be the water
No.
operator?
No, Jason Hood.
Jason Hood, okay. I couldn't remember what the name was. And Commissioner Cook was sitting right next to me on the left, and he said, I make a motion that we start him out at $1 an hour more. He's going to go get his operator's license. Well, the year went by, he didn't get a license. 2 years went by, 3 years went by, 4 years, he was getting his $1 an hour. I have nothing against Sherrod, and I think he's a darn good worker. And he seems to be punctual. I have no qualms about his workability, but until he gets his license, he doesn't have a license. When I came to work for the city in 1977, I was manually entering everything in the ledger books. And in 1980, after the city sold the electric company, they decided to become computerized. I had some computer experience. And it was a whole year and a half after I brought the city into the 20th century with computerization of all the books that I got a 10% raise. You're talking about a 20% raise. I would say give him an extra maybe $1.50 now, and then when he gets his license, make it happen. You know, you can purchase the best horse going, and it doesn't mean he's going to win the Kentucky Derby just because he costs more than anything else. So I've never been one. Make the people come into compliance with what they're supposed to be doing, that they've got all of the attributes that qualify them to get the $4 an hour. Because, like Charlene said, the girls in the office are not going to be happy tomorrow. And it's a whole other ballgame. It was something that shouldn't have never happened, but it did. Nobody signed up on the time cards. Anyway, we're under a new administration, a new administrator, and we don't have any kind of a pay scale for any job in this city. It's like, I can remember when they hired a couple of the public works people, and it was like, no, they want $20 an hour.
Thank you.
Okay.
Kelly?
Hello again. If you don't recognize me, I'm Kelly Carrasco. I seem to have a lot to say. Reading what Ricky had wrote and what he had read to us here during this meeting on Sherrod, I mean, just flat out, I'm very impressed with Sherrod as a resident, as a former commissioner. I think he's been very communicative to staff and to the commission. That's my opinion. But I'm looking here at what Ricky wrote, and in the third paragraph, Sherrod has completed several certificates, including sit-down fork operator safety, skid steer operator safety, safety provision, and excavator heavy equipment operator safety, and is currently holding the city's backflow license. And that he will, and this is where I see that is in the future, he will oversee the backflow program, conducting testing under the guidance of our current Public Works Director. Is that a common occurrence? You don't have to answer. Is it a common occurrence for our Public Works staff to go ahead through all that certification, to have that within the 2-year span? No, I didn't think so. But this shows, right here with these certificates and all the different things that he's gone forth to show, that he's all in it. He's ready to take the bull by the horns. He's here to stay. Pay him correctly. I don't blame him if he was to walk out the door.
Some of that is actually in his work. I'm sorry, I thought she was done.
Nope. I still have, I don't know where the thing is, but I think I still have a couple of seconds. But my statement is that he has been working towards it. He has received certifications, and I would like to see him properly awarded for that, for his increase. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ricky, you didn't include any of those certificates in the agenda packet?
Yeah, he does have, he has a lot of them that nobody's ever had since we've had anybody. He would have had me, like I spoke for, to sign and all that, but I just don't have the time to let him go. Right now, he's short-staffed, we got some classes coming up to get that done, so he will then hold those also. I mean, he's a go-getter. He goes out and he has, I think he went to school and does certification for the distribution line before I came here. He was already doing this stuff before I came here. He's trying to get and have, the redundancy here.
No, that's great. That's great. But I agree with Ann. You reward these things step by step as they go.
I just think you're missing I don't know how to explain it. I just think when you have somebody like that, you need to bring him up. Plus, he was also hired, I understand, I'm not 100% sure because I was not here. He was hired at a higher rate when he came here because of the certifications. And then everybody was brought up, Mr. Hall, Mr. Hatfield was brought up exactly what he was making. So there's no compression difference on that either. I mean, there's differences here. And you got a man here who wants to go out and continue education and get that stuff done. And I'm going to have to find time to allow him to go do it. And he's even done some of this on his own time. I can't talk enough about him, how it would be great to have that.
We have two more, and then Ron, Eric. Roger. All right, want to hear from, you can have the last one. Okay. Ron? Ron? Yes. And then Paulette.
I probably, Ron Perry, Fort Leavenworth, West Michigan. I probably missed it. What agenda item are we talking about?
On the last page, there is the
under my
report.
Under the report.
It's like the police chief just gave us the presentations about 2 police cars.
Was it online or in this package? Because online, I didn't see any, I
The
just
city
saw.
administrator's comments, and he gave it to the public works people to work on.
Just to bring it up. And normally, something as important as this should be an agenda item, that should be out online so the citizens can see it. And along with the police cars, that should be an agenda item, be brought up so that people can see it. But there's other items we didn't talk about, insurance, outfitting the trucks. We talked about that the last meeting. So there's extra dollars that are in this place. And I agree with Ann, you know, I want to be something, but you don't get that pay until you are that person. Working towards it, you know, I got all kinds of certificates at work. I still had the hourly rate until I went to another job. You start another job, put it out to bids, if he's a senior qualified or qualified person, then you pick them. If you don't have the credentials, I don't see what we're doing. Thank you.
Ron.
Yep.
On the agenda is 12B.
Director's report.
Yeah.
I mean,
Under the public works part of the director's report, that's what we're on.
but online, if there was anything about, we're going to, is there others?
Yeah. Thank you. Paulette? Yeah, I think this discussion is probably at a point where we need to hear from the commissioners. Yes, Paulette, you should be.
Paulette Smith, 840 West Light Road. One question. Is it okay for 2 years or however long he's been here and the other workers to be making the same amount and he has certificates and they don't? I don't think it's fair. If he's getting certificates, they have the opportunity, they can get certificates. And Commissioner Bishop said that Paul, I guess his name Rod was the newest employee. If Paul was here longer than Sherrod, it seemed like in the length of time Paul has been here and over the years he's been here, it seemed like he would have had the initiative to go ahead and get some kind of certificates when Ricky was gone, to show that he was trying or wanted to advance with the city. Because I know with my job, when I wanted to get an advancement, I started taking classes. Because that was not the field I had went to school for. But when I started working in that position, and I wanted to advance in the company, I took classes. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Roger, you're on.
I don't know how this got twisted all around, but in an evaluation that you do on a person, which is basically the way I read the letter as an evaluation, you talk about the person's attributes, you talk about his accomplishments, you talk about what extra training and everything he's gotten during that evaluation time period, and then you ask him what his goals are. For some reason, it's getting twisted around to where the reason he's getting a pay raise is because of what goals he has. That's not the reason for the pay raise from what I read in the letter. The pay raise is because he's being promoted to a supervisor position. And as recognition of that, showing what his accomplishments have been done and what certificates he already got and what his goals are for the future. The pay raise is because of a promotion, not his goals. So let's try to remember in what process an evaluation goes through. And yeah, I'd like to see employees start getting evaluations done and everything every year. I know it was a pain because I had to do it every year on my crew of 3, and it's not easy. But I think we need to get back on the right track on this.
Yes, let's vote, please.
Yes, can we have a motion then?
I make a motion that we approve the salary increase and supervisory position for Sherrod Heights.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second. Have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposes? One opposed? 4 to yes. Motion passed. Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh, you guys finished your report?
Yeah, I was just gonna let the commission know that we've begun hurricane preparations at Public Works, getting all the pumps and stuff running, making sure everything's going. We'll be getting fuel if we need it. We only get fuel extra whenever we have an impending hurricane coming. I've already set up the agreement with Gentry Oil Company to bring in portable, DEP approved fuel tanks, and the DEP to power our generators and everything. So we're well aware that the county's coming out next week to start doing our drain cleaning in the next few weeks, storm drains and everything, so we'll be setting all that up.
Is your red book finished?
Yes, I gave it, and then I'm actually meeting with Con, I believe, Jim. She wants to have a meeting with me over the thing. We're gonna go through that. She has a lot of ideas, I want her to pick through it and see what we have.
Great. Thank you.
And that's, I believe, all I have in mind.
All right. Is there anything else for the benefit of the good of the order?
Yes, I would like to make one request. On our workshop list, and we add, I guess, I don't know if you listed under waste services or garbage pickup as a workshop item.
And that was something, that was
As an addition.
I guess that we can put that bid so as well.
Not a bid.
Well, I mean, just a discussion of on the workshop. Okay.
I would like that as well.
And what?
I would like that as well.
Okay, I would agree. I agree. So, this administrator, is there anything that you need any more directions on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I call a meeting adjourned? Motion to adjourn.